Hi, my name is Mike. Today I thought I'm going to do a little bit of work on this big larch. You might have seen the video I did last summer when I did the trimming on it, trimming back the extensions in after the first flush of growth in the spring. Well, this year I need to do some work on this tree to keep the image as refined as possible. This larch has been growing pretty strongly for a couple of years now, and some of the ends of the branches have fattened up quite a bit. That means that I've got a lot of strong buds at the front of the branches, and the inside buds are getting a little bit weaker. So what I need to do is to regenerate those buds on the inside, is to take some of those fat branches off the front. What that will also do is bring the foliage closer back into the trunk, which helps to give a more mature image to the tree. In general, the closer your foliage sits to the trunk, the more mature the tree will look. What I'll do is I'll bring the camera in a bit closer and sort of show you the areas that I'll be working at. I generally work on this every 2 or 3 years to sort of remove the fat branch tips and rebuild the ramification from the smaller branches to sit further on the inside of the tree. That helps to redistribute the vigour to the inside buds, and it also helps to refine the overall image of the tree with the fine twigging and the ramification. So I'll bring the camera in a bit closer so you can see what I'm talking about, and hopefully it'll give you some hints on what to do with your artwork. Okay, I've brought the camera in closer and I've put a black backdrop here so you can see more clearly what I'm actually looking at. So here's a standard branch, and as you can see, there is some quite fat extensions now to the end of these branches, and it's the same on this one here. Now what I'm proposing to do is to actually remove this part of the branch and replace it with this smaller twiggy branch. Now what that will do is all the vigour from this branch will be pushed back into the tree, and this branch here, this small branch, will take the place in the ramification of that other branch. Now the way these are developed, this development happens through the pruning back of the branches, and is a continuous process, as I've explained earlier. In order to build this ramification on larches, it has to be done from time to time. Sometimes it might seem radical to remove a big part of a branch, but the tree will very quickly regenerate that from the buds that sit in these smaller sections. There's another one here that's sort of in a very similar way. As you can see, it's quite a strong branch, and I'm proposing to take this bottom part off and replace it with this smaller one that's sitting at the top here. Those will then be wired in place to take up the space of those branches within the ramification of the tree. So I'm working my way through this tree, looking at where there is a reasonable replacement for those branches that I can then thin back and bring closer in to the trunk. Okay, we're now at the point where we make the decision to actually cut the branch. Now I'm quite sure this is the right decision to make, so off it comes. And the same with this branch. We'll take this off as well. As you can see, it's made a small difference now to the actual branch, but as I move these smaller branches back into position, it doesn't actually detract from the branch. It's actually added character to the branch with these fine twigs that are coming on this side, and the same with this one on the other side. There's still a couple more bits to take off on this, and then I'll wire this branch so you can see what it looks like when it's okay. Here we are. I've spared you all the details of my wiring, but that is the branch completed as it should be. As you can see, it's a much finer structure now. There's no fat ends to the branches, they've all been removed. Now I've left that little stump there because there's a bud sitting right in the centre there, right in the leaf, in the axil of this branch, that I might want to grow out to again start this process over as time progresses. Now, I just thought I'd demonstrate another thing that a lot of newcomers to the hobby don't realise, is that these branches are not flat, they're actually built in layers to give you that domed effect that gives proper branch definition. So if I can just demonstrate that with this piece of card here, as I slide this in, you will see there's a top layer of branches there. These are the shortest branches that eventually in time will replace the bottom branches as they grow too fat. Then you've got a middle layer of branches that are sitting to define the actual branch centre, and then the bottom extension of the branches that gives you the length to the branch. As I said, this sort of procedure I do on my larches probably every 2 to 3 years to just keep them refined. Obviously that's a process that has to be started very early. You want to make sure that your branches take a break early in the start of when you start off your tree, as close to the trunk as possible, to prevent getting these lollipop effect branches right at the front of the tree. So I hope you found that useful. I've probably got another day and a half or so of going over this tree to refine those branches all over the tree, and I shall post an update on it probably later next week. Thanks for watching, and we shall see you again. Bye. Just after I finished the video, I sort of suddenly looked at this tree, and it occurred to me that this branch here looks a bit awkward in relation to the other branches. Now it really wants to grow backwards rather than being a side branch, and it always to me looked a bit awkward there. Now, looking at the overall tree, I don't think that this branch really is necessary, and so I might take a decision now to remove that branch completely and bring this branch down into a position where it replaces that branch. It's one of those things that you come across when you start refining your bonsai, and sometimes you have to be brave and just make the cut. So that's exactly what I shall be doing now. I shall just take that branch out, style the tree from here, bringing this branch down into the position that the other branch occupied, and hopefully that will refine the overall image of the tree, having removed this awkward looking branch from the side. As I said, I'm working on this tree over the next couple of days, so I shall present you the final image once it's done and wired.